but often in the monasteries, it seems that it's the Tenjo that's being studied and commentaries. So why did 84,000 start with the actual Buddha's words?
Very important question. Thank you, actually, for this question. Yes, there has been, as I said earlier, there has been a lot of effort in translating the word of the Buddha. I mean, word of the Buddha as in general, but often, especially with the Tibetan tradition, you are very right. Somehow the Tibetans got really, Tenjur and the commentaries really hijacked the Tibetan Buddhist study. I really admire Chinese and the Mahayana tradition and the Theravada tradition, who really, they have put so much emphasis on studying actual Buddha's teaching. I guess, like Chandrakirti, one of the great commentators, he said that the words of the Buddha himself, the sutra, are very difficult to understand. Only the one who have achieved the bhumis, they could understand. And he tribute to Nagarjuna, saying that only through the help of Nagarjuna's commentary, I'm making a commentary, so on and so forth. So there's all these kind of conversations. So, I've been told to, speak a little bit about sutras time to time. And I always try to say this as a disclaimer. But in the process, like Christians, at the end, where do they have to really boil down to? It's the Bible. And for the Muslims, it's the Quran. And I guess for the Jewish, it's Torah. For Buddhism, it has to come down to, sutra, words of the Buddha himself. So that sometimes gets neglected because we are so attracted to our own immediate masters and the commentators. So this is why we deliberately, consciously choose, even though Kanjur is actually going to be, we thought probably the least use, but very, very encouraged, just even to, find out that somebody from Rwanda, somebody from Azerbaijan, they are downloading our work. It's incredibly encouraging.
That's amazing, from Rwanda. Rinpoche, I'm thinking, people are often so eager to pick up a bell and dorje and recite a text in Tibetan they don't understand, but to actually sit down with a sutra, a long sutra, and read it, seems, you used the word sexy before, it seems not as sexy, Rinpoche. So how should we think about, the sutras and engaging with the sutras to be inspired to engage with those texts?
Yes, I think this is a very important, and I'm actually seeking help from you guys to really make this. And I was just talking to your two marketing ladies, and I'm actually going to ask them to also help me, to give me some ideas on how to market, and not in the sense of making, sort of monetary profit. Because basically marketing is what we in the teaching, we call it Dujagi Kamdang Wangbodam Mebadang Samba. You have to understand what people's capacity, faculties, what is their background, what is their culture. And according to that, Buddha's teachings should be taught. Because, there is this comment, which is very important. Buddha said that Buddha never taught teachings because he knew the subject of the teaching. He was not like a professor who was doing his job. He taught all his teachings out of compassion to different people. Anyway, coming back to, your Vajra and Bell, Dorje and Dilbu, example, very important. People are very almost always attracted to the method, the means, never the end. Always end up looking at the finger, not the moon, because the finger is kind of nice, especially when it is decorated with the rings and bangles and, you know, all of that. Yeah, so like, for instance, the very popular thing that's going on these days, like a vipassana or the meditation, that's a means, by the way, that's not the end. So how many people here today are attracted to mindfulness, cushions, sitting straight, walking very slowly, all of that, they are very attracted. But the view, hardly people have time. So another reason why we need to translate words like, texts like Prajanaparamita, where Buddha really give us the Buddhist view. Because if you forget the view, then, you know, the rest of Buddhism is just another, it's just another survival kit.
So yeah, so this form, people are attracted to forms, but it's the view that counts, right? And that's why we need to spend time with these sutras. It's also, Rinpoche, like you were mentioning meditation, it seems like everyone is into Gom, but, you know, Tu and Sam, listening and contemplating seems to be there's less focus on that. So it feels like with the tools, with the sutras, they're available literally at our fingertips now, Rinpoche, because they're in an app on our phone. So we can spend time with these. And so, Rinpoche, do you have any advice for how to engage? Like, how should we be engaging? We have all these texts now at our fingertips. How should we use them?
Tell me about what you were just saying is so true. There is really no enough effort. We as a teacher and also the student, we are putting enough effort in Tu and Sam, which is hearing and contemplation. And when we say hearing, we are not talking like somebody talking and then you listening. Basically, it's like, you know, downloading 84,000 app. You switch it on and then you choose, okay, how much time do you have? Do you have 10 minutes? There's a 10 minutes sort of, you know, length of sutras. You read that day. What do you want to know? You know, you read. Reading is, in this case, within the, the reading is what we call hearing, when the hearing, contemplation, reading, and the contemplation also. Absolutely important. Otherwise, as you know, there's so many, I mean, not that many, but there has been problems that's related to Buddhists, especially with the teachers and the organizers and the Buddhist centers, behaviors. Why? There hasn't been enough reading. There hasn't been enough analysis. And this is the frustrating part, actually. I mean, Buddha said, analyze my teaching. Don't follow blindly. This guy have said this 2,500 years ago. This is a statement as old as 2,500 years ago. That's like the most liberal thinking. This is the most democratic thinking. And sometimes it's mind-boggling that we don't do that.